Guys, I really don't want to tell you this, but that thing you like from your childhood, it's not actually as good as you remember it being. Now, before you yell and scream and piss, please just let me explain why I think this is nowhere near as good of a sequel as it could have been. Roll the intro before people kill me. Hello everybody, I'm Garrulous64, and this is actually stuck on my finger and I'm afraid to rip it off because I don't want to break the disc. I just noticed there's a little, like, CJ written on this disc, and that means this is not my original copy of the game. And I must have got it at a flea market because I am not CJ, I can tell you that much. Unless it stands for Cool Garrulous64. Which it doesn't. I might think this game's a little bit lackluster in the grand scheme of things, but it is definitely not a bad video game. It certainly has its merits. I do like some things it decided to do, but there are some things that I'm a little bit iffy on. For those that don't know, Super Mario Sunshine is the GameCube's big Mario title, aside from Luigi's Mansion, because that came out first. But that's a Luigi game, not a Mario game. And that's why he was allowed to have personality and actually be a likable character. Mario doesn't become a likable character until Mario Odyssey. Unless you count the Mario RPGs, which you definitely should. Those are very good games. And by likable character, I mean mostly like personality. Because like, you know, in Mario Sunshine, for example, a lot of things happen to this guy and he kind of just like stands there and stares like he's a Pokemon protagonist pre-Sword and Shield. Let's start with the basics. Mario Sunshine is a sequel to Mario 64, which was a game on the Nintendo 64. Duh. Mario 64 is one of the coolest games ever made. It is a giant sandbox game with like 13 levels where you explore and find stars in pretty much whatever order you want. There are some exceptions where you can't get a certain star unless you pick a certain mission, because you know, you need a certain NPC or a certain area of the map to change so you can actually access a certain star, but for the most part you can play these stages in whatever order you want as long as you have enough stars to access the level. So now let's head over to Mario Sunshine. This used to be one of my favorite GameCube games when I was a little kid because I was like, wow, it looks a lot nicer than Mario 64, and that's kind of how I measured games and TV shows back then. Like, for instance, I'd never watched Jimmy Neutron when I was a kid because I thought it looked ugly, and therefore I didn't think it really was necessary for me to watch that. But that was a really dumbass move on my part, because Jimmy Neutron's a really funny show. All the wasted years. Sunshine is a game I know very well, just like Mario 64, and for that reason I'm standing here and I'm doing this entire video without a script, sort of like my previous Mario Trilogy video, because I am a Mario encyclopedia, and I can just recite the entire game to you and every point I need to make without having to write it down. The game begins with Mario, Peach, and Toadsworth, Luigi mysteriously absent, flying into Isle Delfino. I assume maybe they told Luigi he couldn't come because Mario got kidnapped by ghosts? That's just petty. Like, Luigi saved them. You know, like, I feel like he should have been allowed to go. The plane has a bumpy landing, unfortunately, because the runway is covered in some icky paint like goop, which is moving and very disgusting. People are actually also being sucked into it, and nobody's doing anything about it, despite the fact that they have a water pump right over there that they could use to free everybody, and maybe the guy who owns the flood over there is just wanting to watch the world burn. Mario, being the hero he is, obviously takes the water pump and starts cleaning off the runway, and here's where we learn the main gimmicks of this game, which is squirt and hover, which, hover is, that's kind of what I have a bone to pick with about this game, mostly, but we'll get there. Mario cleans up the runway, defeats the first of 100,000 of these Piranha Plant bosses we have to fight, and then he is promptly arrested by the police for reasons unknown. At the trial, they show a sketch of someone who is supposedly polluting their entire island, and they don't listen to Peach or anybody say that, hey, we literally just got here on that plane in the runway, and there's probably like logs of flight and I'm sure like several witnesses that can attest to this. But who cares? The Piantas are ruthless and they throw Mario and Flood in prison for something that he did not do. Mario is sentenced to clean up the entire island because the Piantas can't be bothered to do it themselves, and this is where we start our game. Now, I'm not gonna factor in how dumb the setup is, because it's funny. Like, I don't care, like, you gotta get Mario to do it somehow. But literally, if Mario had shown up and saw there was something bad going on, he would have gone, yes, I will help you because that's who I am. You don't need to arrest the man. Of course, there is a weird Mario doppelganger running around, which is a problem in itself. So, like, again, if Mario, Peach, and Toadsworth had seen that, they probably would have been like, I think we should probably look into that because we don't want this ruining Mario's image. like it does in the real story. So from here, Mario has to run around to several different worlds and find out what's going on with this weird doppelganger and collect the shine sprites that have left the shine gate so that Isle Delfino isn't like all dark and gloomy anymore. But honestly, I think it's too bright when you have all the shine sprites. So I either need some sunglasses, or maybe we just collect like 60 of the shine sprites and leave it at that. Upon getting to the main hub area, Delfino Plaza, Mario notices that there's a lot of goop in the center where a statue is supposed to be. So he cleans that up, fights the same boss we literally just fought, and then a cutscene plays where Shadow Mario shows up, kidnaps Peach, fails miserably, and then escapes into the first world, Bianco Hills. This is where my problems start to show already, because not only did we just fight the same boss a second time within 10 minutes of it, give or take, we get to the first stage, and we realize that we need to play every star in order because you need to complete the 7th level of each world or else you cannot finish this game. That is one of my biggest problems with this, because in Mario 64, you had to get 70 stars anywhere and then you could go fight Bowser. If you wanted to skip Jolly Roger Bay, you could do that. If you didn't want to go to Rainbow Ride, yeah, it, because it's the worst stage in the game. If you want to do 2 stars in Shifting Sandland, I don't blame you. You're probably a very smart person for thinking that way. But here, you gotta go to Bianco Hills, you gotta go to Hotel Delfino, you gotta go to Noki Bay, you gotta do all of these missions every single time you play the game. And there's no freedom whatsoever. Sure, you might be able to choose like, hey, I'm going to try and do Gelato Beach before I do Rico Harbor, but that's pretty much the extent of the choice you have. Other than that, you might bounce back and forth between different levels and get one at a time, but that just seems like a huge waste of time, and you know, like, you're there, so you might as well just do it. There are very rare instances where you're able to skip over a level by like, let's say in the very first level of Bianco Hills, you're able to run by the same boss you just fought twice and go fight Petey Piranha, and that'll skip you past the first shine sprite, and it doesn't matter at all because there's no shine sprite limit. You don't need to like amass 70 shine sprites to beat this game. In fact, there is a skip in Gelato Beach appropriately called Gelato Beach Skip, where if you do this skip, you can go right to Shadow Mario in that world, and you don't need to do anything else in the entire level. You can just leave. But that would be a shame because the Cataquacks are on that beach, and I think those are a very underrated Mario enemy. They're just like these little weird duck ball sphere creatures that like throw you up in the air, and I think they still hurt you, but like I can look past it because they're kind of cute. Of course, that also lets you skip the Sandbird, which I think most people would be okay with. I gotta be honest though, Sandbird's really not that difficult once you like get down to it. Like if you just make good use of that hover ability, you kind of just survive, it's fine. That also, good thing to mention, the hover ability. So that is what I like to call a crutch. In the original Mario 64, you were jumping and leaping, long jumping, side jumping all over the place, and it was fantastic. It felt amazing, and once you got a good hang of those controls, you could pretty much do anything. Like, you can pull off some crazy stunts in that game. But on the flip side, you go to Mario Sunshine, right? And some levels, they take FLUDD away from you. And now you feel like a helpless baby man because you've been using the hover the whole time, and all of a sudden, you're asked to do it without it. And now Mario's just like, oh, no, I don't know if I can do this. You know, maybe you actually said that outside the screen, and Mario looked at you and went, yeah. What I'm trying to say is, they didn't do a very good job of expanding the gameplay of the original. Instead, they kind of regressed a little bit because not only do you lose certain abilities like the long jump, the punch, which I guess isn't super necessary, you kind of just lose Mario as a whole. Like, I feel like it feels like a FLUDD game. Because like, if you're not using FLUDD, I think there are certain runs you can do of the game for speedruns that are like, hoverless challenges, it's probably like miserable. Because that game is designed to use that, and I don't think it's quite as fun or versatile as just having a really nice Mario moveset like you would see in Mario 64 or Mario Odyssey. And they definitely did not put very much time into the FLUDDless moveset, because when you play those special levels, it's really awkward to control Mario on his own. He just feels like he's lacking a lot of stuff, and I don't know, I think it would have been cool if there was a way you could play as FLUDDless Mario for some things, and in like a challenge mode or something where he's got more moves and, you know, the long jump, and I guess it would also throw a wrench into a lot of things when you have to spray goop. I don't mind that too much. Like, that seems like an okay gimmick, whatever. I would have actually preferred it if there was no hover nozzle and you still had the spray nozzle for like puzzles and stuff. I think it would have been more of a Mario game. I probably sound like a crazy Mario purist or something by saying all this stuff, but I feel like some people probably understand what I'm trying to say, right? And again, it's not a bad game for it. It's just, I don't see it as a very good sequel. It almost feels like a weird spin-off for the reasons I've been talking about in this video so far. And I know I made a big point of it already, saying that they reuse bosses a lot. They reuse bosses a lot in this game. Like, I know Mario 64's bosses weren't incredible. Most of them were just like run up to them and punch them and then they fall over and they're like, dude, why'd you do that? But in Mario Sunshine, it's like, hey, do you want to fight Petey Piranha twice and Gooper Blooper twice or 3 times, or that like paint piranha plant 5 or 6 times, but it gets longer every single time? Like, no, I don't. I really don't. You have some outliers like King Boo, who's only used once, and you have like the Phantom Manta Ray, which is only used once as well. Thank God. Could you imagine if they had a boss rush in this game where you had to fight the Phantom Manta again? Gross. Of course, the final boss is very unique, but it doesn't feel like much of a boss fight. It's almost like you're fighting the platform you're standing on as opposed to the boss itself. Things I do like about the game, I do like the setting a lot. The music is obviously really, really nice. I do like the game visually for the most part. I think it looks very like classic Gamecube-y, and you know, you throw some HD textures in there, it actually looks pretty nice. Even on like the Switch Mario collection, like they gave it widescreen, and yeah, I mean, I'm down for that. Like 720p widescreen for Mario Sunshine. Yeah, good stuff. So the game definitely holds up, but when you look at it when compared to its predecessor and its successor, Mario Galaxy, I don't think anyone's picking Sunshine over Galaxy, you know? Even though Galaxy is a lot less of an open sandbox and more of a get-to-the-goal kind of game. Like, even Nintendo classified it like that when they were marketing for Mario Odyssey. They were like, yeah, Galaxy 1, 2, and 3D World were kind of like a, here's your goal, go there and do it, and it's like fairly linear, whereas Sunshine 64 and then Odyssey are very much open sandbox levels, and that's the kind of thing I prefer. But even I prefer Galaxy more than Sunshine because of all of like the things I've been talking about in this video. And I mean, Mario Galaxy is Mario Galaxy. It's one of the most amazing and like well-liked games ever made. So, you know, I'm not gonna throw that one under the bus. I think it's amazing. This was not a traditional Mario Sunshine review, was it? This was like an airing of grievances. Again, I do like this game. Like, I feel like it is okay for you to like a game but also have problems with it, right? Because like, usually when you say something negative about a game, people are like, wow, maybe you're just not very good at it. It's like, no, I've been playing this game for like a long time, and I think I'm decently fine at it. I've completed it plenty of times. It's just, there are things about it that I don't quite understand from like just a game development standpoint, you know? But this was a quick little rant about Mario Sunshine. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, so if you think that that's what I was trying to say, I apologize, but maybe you should listen better. And this is definitely a shorter video because I'm actually very busy this week with some fun friend stuff, so I'm trying to just fill up this time slot. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please write down in the comments the ways that you think I am wrong and an idiot. Welcome one and all to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and if you did, please let me know down in the comments below that you made it all the way here, because now you're in the secret club. Not a whole lot of people make it here, so pat yourself on the back. And if you like this video and you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe, click the bell, follow my Twitter, and join the Discord to keep up with more reviews and other things that aren't reviews, because I do a lot of things. I'd also like to give a huge thank you to my current supporters, who are Chaotic Mercenary, Brady Hilkemeyer, Mimic, Noah Wisbios, Danny Lee Dauber, Minty, Tylo Tech Guy, Jeremy, Dax, T-Bone APH, Crystal, PM13, Chaos, Dork in a Hat, Mega Traffic Cone. And on Patreon we have Takayaki Chow, Noah Wisbios, and John the Real Wawa Luigi. Thank you guys so much for supporting, it really means a lot, and also a huge thank you to everyone in the $1 tiers. Remember, even $1 can help a lot and gets you access to a whole bunch of members-only videos that you can see by clicking the join button below or the card up there. There's a lot of those. There's like 30-something of them, and I will get back to making more of those eventually. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.